What's up, guys, and welcome back to Off the Battlefield. We're going to be talking about all things Best of the Rest, which is the UK Arcadian tournament for unranked players, and I've got joining me here today Moby, aka EU Tafokins, a nickname which at least one person, is that right? At least one person's given you. Hello, Casper.
Yeah, that's Daisy, London player.
Yeah.
He calls me that, and he tries to make other people call me that on Facebook, but I don't think it's going to catch on.
Yeah. Well, maybe it will, maybe it won't, but you definitely done a bit of work with this in the stats department. So you used a ranking algorithm for melee players, right? Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so I've had some articles published on Melee LME, thanks to the generosity of Tafokins, where basically I take Glico, which is a chess ranking algorithm, and apply melee tournament results to it to try and create a sort of more objective ranking and an alternative perspective to the usual SSBM rank, which has been a pretty fun project.
No, that's awesome stuff. And I thought with someone who's got as much knowledge and as much data about the UK scene, it'd be great to talk about, predictions, expectations for Best of the Rest in January. So if we have a quick look at... I'm gonna ask you about your top 8 predictions, but I want to just first run through these top 8 seeds. So we've got Sechi, SDS Unhaven, 23, Oakamede, SDS Modest Major, getting the plugs in, JMG, Zardov, and Sox. Are there any there who stand out as boom, this person's going to really go nuts at this tournament?
Well, the thing with this tournament, even though obviously we're here to do predictions, is compared to an open tournament, I think this tournament is quite hard to predict. I think there's the sort of distribution of skill is quite bunched up. But from this list, I think the clear standouts, obviously, are Sechi and Unhaven, first 2 seeds. Unhaven has, wasn't on most people's radar only a few months ago. Wasn't on the last UK Power ranking, but he's certainly been on a tear recently.
Yeah, he's got some crazy wins, so he's beaten Time Muffin, Alpha Dash, Death Gazer, Mr. Love, and How. Maybe someone else, but that alone is you 2 top 10 players there. No joke.
And then Sechi has almost even more so come out of nowhere. He has had a good run at DreamHack, where he had a heartbreaking loss to K12, and then an even more heartbreaking loss to Charlon, which was a bit controversial. But
yeah, that was a bit of a TO mishapping there.
Yeah, and then I think only recently he had a win over Frenzy.
Yeah, he won 2 sets over Frenzy on the same day, in fact, which was pretty insane.
So certainly making a name for himself in the UK.
Yeah. So you've highlighted those 2 players as kind of a bit, right at the top and a little bit of a band above the other players.
Yeah.
Just a quick question I want to ask you. If you think the PR was made today, right, if there was a new UK PR, do you think these players would be on it?
Oh, definitely. Top 25 for sure. I think the more interesting question is how high up. Let me just bring up the current PR.
I think so. It's Way at 21, Soy at 23, something like that. 23's in there at 24th, something like that.
Yeah, it's quite confusing. But...
yeah, it's way too confusing.
I think given Unhaven's results, you could make an argument for him in top 15.
Okay. That's quite bold. I feel in general, the players who do the rankings are a bit more conservative and like to see, consistently repeated results. Obviously, Unhaven's had 2 killer kickstart tournaments, and Sechi's kind of had 1 killer kickstart and then some other good wins the DreamHack and the Frenzy win you spoke about. But I definitely think they have potential to be top 20 material.
Yeah, I think... personally, I think I'd like to see a little bit more recency bias in these kind of rankings. I think there's kind of a bit of maybe complacency amongst the old guard.
Yeah.
There's certainly a perception in the UK that there's, the players who've been good forever and everybody else is struggling to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's really most exciting about these Unhaven wins. I think is it's not just that he's beaten some good ranked players. It's like he's just gone in and slain like the old guard. Is exactly what you said. You know, Alpha Dash, Deathgazer. These are two players who've been kind of sitting on a similar-ish level for a long time, and both been sitting in the top 10 for like 5 years. And seeing someone just come in and just completely shake it up is really exciting to see. So yeah, then looking back across these top 8 seeds, I'm wondering if there's any of them that you think are going to kind of underperform, because obviously there's a big spread of matchups that you're going to need to play. If we look at the projected bracket, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. If you go straight through the winner's side, you need to win 6 rounds to get there. And if we're talking about losers, we're talking about like 9 or even more, 10 rounds I think it is, of best of 5. Which means if you are much more likely to, bump into one of those opponents who plays a character you don't like. Obviously you've got Unhaven there, an Ice Climbers player.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, which of these players do you think is most likely to get upset by someone else? Or not end up making it anywhere near as high as they'd hoped?
Well, I guess the person most likely to be impacted by the thing of hard matchups, like you're saying, is Okamid, because he is a mid-tier warrior.
Yeah.
Also, there are a couple of other names up here that there's a lot of history for Okamid of London tournaments. He has really bad records against both 23 and JMG. According to Smash Ranking, he is 2-8 against 23 and 1-5 against JMG.
Yeah.
So those are, possibly brick walls for him.
Yeah.
And then Unhaven and the other good ICES players, which there are quite a few lurking around this bracket.
Yeah, you've got Giant Squid Tech, you've got Yevo, and then there's another one. Who is it?
HK420,
HK420, Lengman, you know the one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Ice Climbers might kind of be the story of this tournament, if you know what I mean, in that a lot of people are going to get drastically upset by Ice Climbers coming up, or by being caught out on not knowing that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matchup that a lot of people struggle with, particularly at the not at the top level. Most of these players, even if they're good, they have a huge amount of tournament experience. Elcamo has a winning record over 23, for example.
Yeah.
But if the Ice Climbers players do make a deep run, then that might be very good news for Lauster.
Yeah.
Who I think is the highest seeded Peach main.
Yeah, there's a few. Sorry, just real quick, I want to make sure he doesn't get mad. There's also Ship, who's another Ice Climbers main at the top. So just one extra one in the mix. But yeah, Peaches, there's a couple all bunched up near each other in the seeding. Lauster, Calzum, Reb, who all have, fair chances of, just bodying Ice Climbers and ending up going way further than expected.
Yeah, Lauster's one of the people that I was kind of expecting to see in the top 8 seeding. He obviously his real breakup performance was at Air where
3,
he took a set from Alpha Dash.
And then Willie, was it? Willie,
Willie,
French player.
But even outside of that, his results have been pretty consistently good.
Okay. I'm trying to think where I think I seeded him 11th or something.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So, okay, that's definitely an interesting one. I do think he is one to watch, and if I have a look at his projected bracket, which should be in its final form now, or as close to as possible, he's got Yevo, which is an Ice Climbers in the first round, and then
Good
Sox. So yeah, definitely a bit tricky, but the Samus, Samus being another character that does well against Ice Climbers, and in general, I think has a bit of the benefits a little bit from being a character that a lot of people aren't familiar with, and
yeah, for sure.
You can easily fall into Samus's traps and get completely obliterated. If you're that's a classic thing, right? You're a space animal, you're not ready, you play like you nair, and then you get crouch cancel down smash, and you just lose your whole stock.
Yeah, Samus certainly a good sort of noob slayer, even for people who aren't noobs.
Yeah.
And 2 of them seeded in the top 8. That's going to be miserable for some people.
Yeah. Definitely, definitely. So you mentioned Lauster there. Is there anyone else who hasn't been seeded in the top 8 that you feel like is a keen pick, or is like quite likely to outdo their seeding?
So let's see who we got. I'm a little biased towards Elkimo because he does come to the South London weeklies.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at his bracket. He's got JMG pretty early in winners. That's probably not a good look for him.
Yeah.
And then in losers, he might have Socks, which would be...
Oh, yeah.
Which would be pretty bad. But what's the alternative? Socks...
Could be Lauster
Socks
there
loses to
instead.
Lauster.
Yeah.
Also
not a
okay,
good
so
one.
alright. Let's throw him out.
Looks like he's got a bit of a tough bracket for sure.
Yeah.
I want to ask your
sorry,
opinion on some of these older players, because I'm not sure. Obviously, you're the data guy, and there might be a little bit lacking in this department, but there's quite a lot of older or like more inactive players who are returning for this. You got Calzum, nice peach, JJ Linyard, who is like used to be a like top 20 Fox back in the day. Then you got Cone, Inertia, another Pikachu, AMCD, Peach, and Bullet Bill's Fox. Any of them you think are gonna be making some of the new kids cry, or do you think it is that the old guard aren't so hot anymore?
Well, it's an interesting question. Some of these people are even a bit before my time. JJ Linyard, I do remember seeing him play at Albion.
Yeah.
Where he looked pretty solid, and I have a bit of contact with like the Essex scene, and they definitely sort of worship him.
Yeah.
So if he's back on form, then I definitely think he could arguably be a bit underseeded. It's hard to say. We've got Calzum and AMCD are both Peaches, right?
Yeah.
What's Calzum's bracket? Calzum's got... Okay, Calzum is seeded to play Modest Major for top 8. That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Peach Falco, can be a tough lady for Falco to deal with.
Yeah. Though Modest Major has a win over Mr. Love recently,
okay.
So
right.
That's definitely a mark in his favour. Yeah, okay. With a bunch of the other ones like Inertia, AMCD, Bullet Bill, it is going to be tough to say. AMCD, I think, is another one on that list who might have a good shout, because obviously JJL, he's like, he was ranked top 20 back in the day, but like in terms of recent-ish stuff, the last time AMCD came to a national, I'm pretty sure was DreamHack London.
Okay.
And he beat BR Taurog there, and that's pretty mad. Just coming in off of pretty much nothing, being isolated in the Northwest, and then beating BR Taurog, who is known as like a pretty good matchup spread player.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to look at his recent results. So he came to Kickstart back in September and lost to Fate.
Oh, that's awful. Sorry, Fate.
But he may have been on the grind since then.
Okay. Alright, yeah, so that's interesting with a bunch of these oldies. I would have to say my picks, it's going to kind of come down to who is actually putting in the work, If all of these players turned up having not practiced, I think they would all do pretty badly. I think they'd all scrape into the gold bracket, and then go 0-2. But I think if they all put in work, I feel like Calzum, JJL, and AMCD are probably the hottest picks there.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at JJL's bracket as well, he's got
Reb,
and then Ship, right? Where's he gone?
He's projected to have, if he beats Reb, Mordo.
Are we looking at the same bracket?
I'm looking at losers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's going to lose. Obviously, he's predicted on the Smash G to lose to Ship here, but I feel like if he gets that win, he's going to end up probably going quite far in the winner's side, because win over Ship, then he's got 23, which I think is a good matchup for him. Foxdale is always something he had a lot of practice at back in the day. If he loses that, then it is Ice Climbers all the way down in the losers bracket, but we'll see. One of the things about this tournament is that there's kind of a bit of a anyone can beat anyone element to it.
Yeah.
Which means that after a certain time, the predicted bracket kind of can just get thrown a little bit out the window because so much could change potentially.
Yeah, definitely don't expect this to match reality too closely.
Yeah. So taking a look back at the top picks for this event, we spoke about Sechi and Unhaven. Do you know much about 23? He's got like a one crazy peak win, which is he took himself over Triforce.
Over Triforce, yeah, I heard about that.
I watched it. It looked a bit. I mean, he got 3-0 straight afterwards, and it looked pretty sloppy, like from Over's part. There was an SD in most games, so it's like obviously props for making it happen. You know, actually doing it, but you know, I have no illusions that if they played again, I think Over would win. You know, every 99 times out of 100.
Yeah.
But how close do you feel he is to the group above, like Sechi and Unhaven?
I don't know. I mean, 23 is he's certainly gotten a lot stronger over the last year. I know he, like early in 2016, I think he dropped a set to Tanquid Shoes, and so I don't remember who else was talking about it. Possibly with Duke. He said that was the turning point. After that, he said, "All right, never again."
Fair play.
But he's got a losing record with JMG. I think they play quite a lot. But he's got a dominant 7-1 record over Mordo. He actually is seeded to play 23 in winners' quarters, so that could work against him.
Yeah.
But he's from what I've seen, he's a very solid player. He's certainly beaten me in Kickstart pools before.
Yeah. I feel like I was talking to him at Brighton Stock, which is just the Brighton local that we're both at, and he said, if I have to play against HK 420, I'm definitely going to lose. Which kind of just flags up an issue to me. Obviously, you know, it's not just dodging one player. If he's going to definitely lose to HK 420, that kind of signals to me that it's a general Ice Climbers problem for him.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious to see if he's actually got Ship in winners round 3. So if Ship actually makes this upset, it could be his tournament, maybe, you know, or it could just be the end of 23's day, you know.
Well, this is definitely not the right tournament to have that phobia.
Yeah. Because, okay, so if 23 goes forwards, he plays Brado first, so I assume he wins that. If he then loses to Ship, he's going to go down and play HK 420, and that's like for 17th or 13th place or something.
13th, yeah.
So, I feel like, whilst I feel 23, I think he's probably is correct in being the third seed of the tournament. I think his seeding is quite accurate. I think he also has the potential to get massively underperform on the day due to a few matchup problems.
Yeah, I mean, that's the life of a Foxman, you know, it's a dangerous game you play.
Yeah, especially when you don't learn the Ice Climbers matchup.
I don't know if if he can get Duke to stay at his house for a bit and
maybe
get the grind on. But...
Yeah, just a little aside here. It's just something I'm really happy about having run the Arcadian is that the amount of people I've seen go on Twitter or who've just told me I'm practicing harder than I've ever done, and just like an energy, they're just an energization of some of these players to actually try and grind and improve more than they have done, pretty much ever before.
Yeah, well, the format like this, when you go to a tournament like Kickstart, you get to play a lot of people, but you get to play a lot of matchups where you feel like you have no hope of winning. Whereas this event is really, because like you were saying, there's a kind of feeling that anybody can beat anybody. This is definitely a tournament where there's a risk of a big breakout performance from somebody who's seated pretty low.
Yeah.
There are plenty of matchups in pools where the gap between even the first and third seed is not necessarily that big, I think.
Yeah, I agree. If we look at, if you go down to pool 20, which is AC Anon and Droblex Zero, which is this guy called Langley, aka Mr. Hero. He's got a few other tags.
Okay.
I mean, on an average day, this pool is probably going to come out in the order that it says, 1, 2, 3. I can link these to you, by the way.
I got it up. That's cool.
Cool. But I could honestly see, depending on the day, any of these 3 seeds coming in any position, you know, I could easily see it being Droplex 0, then Soy, then AC Anon. Like, I could see double upsets, you know. Quite, and even with you got Harambe's Avenger, which is that guy. Do you know the Jigglypuff player? That guy.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah. He's got the Smash GG curse, where if you change your tag, you can't change it back for 6 months. So yeah, it's just like, it's pretty mad to think that 4th seeds are like have got fair chances to beat even some 1st seeds potentially.
Well, this pool in particular is an interesting one because Soy is not somebody we've mentioned so far, but he is, you know, currently ranked 23rd on the national power rankings.
Yeah. Well, I remember we had a little discussion about this on Twitter briefly.
Yeah.
He has actually been moved up twice. The second, so we made one wave of changes to the pools, and then we reevaluated a second time, and we only made one swap, which was moving Soy up and Cone down.
Okay.
We just swapped them basically. So yeah, I know he is on the rankings, but I remember when we spoke about this, I think it might have been on the first episode of the Battlefield. Well, the first one with me hosting it. I was speaking to Prof, and I said, I think if people had seen more of Soy's Fox before the rankings came out, then he would have been taken off.
Okay.
I mean, you obviously, when you look at your stats, do you try and like break it down into when he was playing Fox and when he was playing Pikachu, or?
Well, unfortunately, I don't. You know, I can't say for sure who he plays at each event, but like in November, which, you know, in November 17th, according to Smash Ranking, he took a set off Frenzy. I don't know if he was playing.
That's got to be. That's got to be a Zao weekly.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, basically, me and Alex do not rate weekly results as that important.
Fair enough.
I mean, not like they'd mean nothing, but when it's like one win against someone who's beaten you 20 times at a weekly, it's just like, this is likely an outlier. And I know that Soy and Frenzy are, you know, they play all the time, they're good friends, so it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if Frenzy was playing secondary, or that he's just messing about because, you know, I don't know. I'm just, obviously we've kind of got this conflict here where you're the guy who looks at the numbers, and I kind of have more of a, just my opinion from having played them. But there's no way that Soy can beat Frenzy basically if they're both playing their mains, because like Frenzy is just way better than him.
It's good to have that context. Obviously, you don't want to see just on numbers. But still, I'm, you know, I'd put my name on the line and say that Soy has quite a lot of upset potential, I think, in this bracket.
Yeah, I agree, and I think as well with like he has kind of tried to make this full switch to Fox, but with the nature of the tournament and with what's on the line, I wouldn't be that surprised to see a last minute sellout. You know, just suddenly switch back.
Well, if he, I'm just looking at his bracket.
Yeah.
If he does come second in his pool, then he has to play Giant Squid Tech first round. So that may be a matchup where he doesn't want to break out the Pikachu.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I think there's an Ice player from Bristol called Yivo, and I'm pretty sure Soy still beats him reliably. I feel like Yivo and Squid Tech are on similar-ish levels, like close enough to, if he's beating one of them handily, he'll probably be able to take it over the other one.
Sure.
So yeah, that gives him the bracket after that. Where's he gone?
He's got
Zardov. That's gonna be a toughie.
I don't know. I think Zardov is an interesting player. Like, I kind of feel like out of the people in the top 8 seeds, he's the most likely to bust her out.
Yeah. Okay. Why do you think that?
I mean, I have a limited experience with Zardov. Like, I played him in some friendlies at Air, and I've looked at his results in London. And I mean, obviously he is a good Fox. Obviously he has some good wins, but I don't know. Like, he's very aggressive. He's very fast moving. But like, he has a losing record against Mordo, for example.
Okay.
Losing record against Archimedes. It's just one of those Foxes where if you, I don't know, if you get a couple of quick kills, or couple of good punishes.
His play will start to deteriorate.
Yeah, he may not have like the sort of sophisticated neutral game or whatever to bring it back. Okay. I don't know. I don't want to like criticize his playstyle.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'll be interested to watch his results.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the most interesting. It's in like round 2. I think that's going to be one of the most interesting round 2s to watch. Soy versus Zardo, actually. Especially if Soy did choose to break out of the Pikachu, that might be a really good moment for it, honestly, because if Zardo's got a losing record against Alchemede, you know, catch him with the unexpected Pika pick.
Yeah.
Might end up putting one of the top 8 seeds into losers as early as round 2. So yeah, we're sort of making a little bit of progress through the top 8 seeds. We kind of skipped ahead to Zardoz, but and we already spoken about 23. You spoke about Alchemede earlier. Modest Major, someone I want to highlight on because he's been a little bit inactive, but just come back for things here or there in the last sort of 6 months. How are you feeling about his projected bracket? So I'm
SDS
looking at it here.
Major, you mean?
Yeah, SDS Modest Major, obviously. Okay, Icon, I think that's probably going to be a win for him. And then he's got Mordo, which is Falcados. And then Alchemede, so that's all the way to winners' quarters, just like that.
Yeah, I think those are 3 pretty winnable matches for him.
Yeah. In fact, actually, looking at this is pretty mad, right? If he takes over Alchemede, he then plays against Sechi, who I'm pretty sure he has a generally winning record against. He definitely won at Infinite, which was just last weekend.
Is that right? Okay.
Oh, 3-0. I was getting... Alex is in the background giving me hand motions. He just put up 3 fingers and then a 0. He just made an obscene gesture at me as well. But, yeah, no, if he does that, then we're talking about a trip to winners finals,
Yeah.
Which is guaranteed top 3. I think... Honestly, if Modest comes up against Unhaven, he's not going to win. Which I mean, they're both my boys, they're both SDS boys. But that is not a dream matchup for Adam. It's one that Unhaven's pretty good at. And I think, yeah, that's one of the ones that's probably not going to get flipped around. But, getting into the winners finals is like a huge boon for anyone in this tournament because the losers bracket is going to be stacked. It's going to have like all the killers. So yeah, skipping all of that and just getting straight to the top 3 in the winner's side is going to be a huge benefit for anyone.
Yeah, so you think he could be a bit of a kingmaker if he keeps Sechi away from Unhaven?
I think so, because I think Sechi maybe has one of the best matchup spreads of the top Cs. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not amazing against Ice Climbers, but I think he can hold his own against pretty much everyone else. Falco, obviously a problem, but I think the only Falco on the level that we're talking about is probably Modest Major. And that's not just because of his skill level, but also because of his playstyle, which is quite quite campy. Defensive, let's say. Let's find a nice word for it.
Yeah.
Little quick side story. I was actually at Infinite, this tournament in Reading, and after Sechi lost to Modest Major, I said, Sechi, do you want to play some friendlies? And he said, yeah, I need to practice. Can you please play the most degenerate Falco possible? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then 30 seconds in, I was like, whoops, I went in by accident.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to play like that. That's not how your brain's wired. But
Modest sticks to it. And I actually spoke to Mr. Love, someone who Modest Major upset at Kickstart. And Mr. Love said the same thing. He was like, I couldn't deal with the style that he was playing. And a lot of people can hate about that, say, oh yeah, it's lame, but it's like, if you found a strategy that wins, I think you got to give respect to the guy for making it work,
Absolutely, that's what you got to do.
So yeah, no, obviously, if he does make it to this winners finals game, then if he loses to Unhaven, he's gonna drop down to the losers finals, which means, yeah, I definitely think he has got potential to be a kingmaker and to deny Sechi access to that top 3 potentially. Though with 23 in the mix there, did you know if 23 and Sechi have ever played?
They don't have any matches on Smash Ranking.
Okay, that's another interesting one, because I feel like Sechi's quite good against Fox. He's obviously got that win against Belia, and Willie plays Fox, right?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe he does. Alex is saying maybe not, but
What's that about?
who Willie plays? I thought it was Fox, but Alex says Falco.
It's Belia that Sochi beat anyway.
Yeah, that was a kick. Oh yeah, no. I'm talking nonsense. I'm getting so confused. Yeah, Sechi beat Belia. That's the right one. That's Fox. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's promising because I would, if you just said to me who's better, Belia or 23, I would probably say Belia. You know.
Yeah, sure.
I think most people would agree with that. So that does look promising. But I feel like 23 kind of has this kind of play style. I think he has a contrasting play style to Sechi, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like 23, when you see him play, he's always smiling, he's always grinning. He looks like he's having the best time in the world, and it feels like a certain amount of creativity and, you know, just free-flowing nature of his game comes out because of that. Whereas Sechi feels way more like calculated robotic style.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of playstyle you're describing for 23, I don't think that is a good answer to the sort of Wizard Junior style of Sechi.
Well, so if those two met in bracket, you'd put your money on Sechi.
Yeah, I think I would for sure.
I think that's fair enough. Claim. I feel like the style. I kind of agree. You know, 23 style isn't really a good counter to Sechi's, but it makes me feel like, even though if there's a bit of a skill gap there, it gives him the potential to make the upset. Like if they play 10 times, you know, he's gonna get it twice or 3 times. Like, whereas with some other players, there's a big skill gap, and it's just like you could play 10 times and the better player would win 10 times.
Right.
I feel like if you're a player who has a bit of flair, has a bit of creativity, it just gives you the potential to just, you know, have that once in a lifetime game, or not necessarily once in a lifetime, you know, to just really hit your flow, just be playing on point and end up just taking it over someone who you wouldn't ever be able to beat otherwise. Which is kind of reflected in how he beat over Triforce as well.
In a matchup like that, you know, Fox can do pretty disgusting things to Falcon if 23 is playing well.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, moving down. You know, we were talking about Modest Mage, but we ended up on 23. I want to touch on JMG now. I don't think we've spoken about him at all. And some people are arguing for him to be higher. What do you think about that? Do you think he's fair at the 5th seed place?
I think, like, if we're talking about, like, the thing with JMG is it's kind of strange to see him seated below 23 in Archimede, because he has strong winning records over both of them, and because, you know, for a long time he has been the guy who comes second at the London Weeklies after Ryan, if he enters, or, you know, or whoever.
Yeah, whichever top player comes down.
Yeah. JMG is 4-2 in sets against 23 and 5-1 in sets against Archimede. And, you know, we were talking about players like 23 who are potentially quite volatile. JMG playing Samus is going to be pretty reliable most of the time.
Yeah.
A bit of a brick wall. So I think if you're looking for someone to land consistently in the top 8, then he's someone to look at.
Yeah, I'm very much inclined to agree. I feel like he is the one who you just see that and you're like, he's got to make top 8, you know. And looking at his bracket is seems to agree with that as well. Okay, so he's got Cone in his first round, which is winners round 2. Then HK 420, which is a winning matchup for him, and I feel like he's got a winning result there. Then he's on the predicted bracket. It comes up him as losing to 23, but he's got a winning record there, right?
Yeah.
You know, in fact, if he gets that win over 23, then he's got Unhaven, which is a very favoured matchup for Samus. Potentially also sneaking him into winners finals. So that would be big for him. But failing that, if he does end up losing to 23, as we spoke about, if you look at where he goes down, he's got Zardov, so he normally beats Zardov, right?
Well, he's seeded to play Loster first.
Yep, so I missed that.
So that's if he loses to 23. So
yeah.
Which is, I don't know, kind of a less certain proposal, I think, than Zardov.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that definitely being a close game. If he manages to get that, then Zardov and then Okamede, and then it would be 23 again, so...
Yeah, so good. Like the top 8 is people that JMG are good against. Plus Sochi.
Yeah. That is definitely a big factor in it. Like, even if you look at everyone above him, yeah, Okameda 23 always has winning records against. Unhaven, he's got the matchup. And then even Modest Major, like, definitely doesn't have like a Samus strong point or anything like that. And there aren't really that many UK Samuses in the South other than JMG.
Yeah.
At least not on the same level. So I think he might have a little bit of a matchup problem. But potentially his defensive style will help him out there in that matchup. So yeah, we touched on Zarlov a little bit. The last player in the top 8 we haven't spoken about once is Sox. This is a kind of a player who is just not really on my record at all, on my radar at all, but we looked at his results and it's like, they're good, you know?
Yeah, Sox is another player I know a huge amount about. When I was at S3, I was on the Saturday night after pools. We were staying up in Mordo's hotel room, and JMG was there, and the other Samuses apparently got together to arrange a round robin for title of best Samus. And JMG skipped it because he was the only one who day 2'd, which made him the winner by default in his eyes.
Okay.
But apparently Sox won that.
Yeah, he's got wins over Okamede and JJL, which is quite good. I'm going to just look at his record against Okamede here.
He is 3-1, so they've played quite a few times for the players so far for that.
I assume that was from when Omid was in the Northeast.
Okay, sure.
Which makes them a bit closer. Yeah, I think he's kind of in a bit of a weird spot. Like, he's got the Samus thing, which kind of makes you reliable, and also just playing Samus seems really strong at this tournament.
Yeah.
You know, with all the ice climbers and then kind of mid-tier space animals. Have a quick gander at his bracket. By first round into Oolong T, so that's most likely going to be a win for him. Then he's got Lawster. Samus Peach, I think he's probably going to be a difficult one for both of them. I don't really know how I feel about that matchup. I feel like it's Peach favoured, right? But not enormously.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. It's the kind of matchup that most people like turn off the TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it would probably just down to like comfort, familiarity more than anything.
Yeah. So yeah, if he takes over Lawster, he's going to be Sechi in the quarterfinals, which is doable. I'm not sure if Sechi's got much experience against Samus, but I feel like. Oh yeah, there's that K12 game, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it seemed like he knew what he was doing against Samus there.
Okay. So I feel like Sox is probably going to get a bit stuck if he comes up to Sechi. But let's have a gander at the loser's side. Then Modest Major. So, yeah, if he loses to Sechi there, it's going to be Space Animal into more Space Animals by the looks of it, or into Samus Dittos potentially.
Oh, that'll be exciting.
Yeah, thrilling.
He's actually really good at Samus Dittos. He won the round.
But yeah. Obviously, you know, Samus Dittos not exciting, but you did just mention that you won the round robin, so
yeah, JMG may regret skipping
not
that
against
one out.
JMG, but you know, if winning the round robin kind of indicates that he's good against Samus, right?
Yeah.
So that may play into his favour. I think, obviously, this is kind of reflected in the fact that we put him in the 8th seed, not any higher, but I feel like he is one of the least likely to, you know, really outshine his seeding, and also kind of slightly more likely to get upset by someone.
That's fair.
Okay, so we've had a good look over the top 8 seeding there. Feel like Sechi and Unhaven are kind of two good favourites. 23 and Okamede have a few matchup problems. Modest Major, the story for him is really going to be, you know, is he going to be able to get to Sechi and take over him again? Because that would be a huge boon for him. Then you got JMG, solid Samus. You know, probably most solid pick there in terms of if you had to say someone who'd definitely make top 8. Zarov, the wild card, let's call it, and then Sox, the, you know, like JMG, but not as solid, you know. Yep, that's a good coverage of the top 8. So the last question I just want to ask you is, you said Sechi and Unhaven are, you know, your top 2 picks. Who's going to win?
Who's going to win? I mean, we did come up with like a not unimaginable scenario where winners finals is Modest Major JMG, which will be pretty funny. I think like Sechi and Unhaven, you know, they played not that long ago, and Unhaven won in a reasonably close set, which I feel like more than anything that is going to have lit a fire under Sechi. You know he's a dedicated studier.
Yeah.
So he's definitely going to be hoping to play Unhaven again in winners finals and come equipped with some new tools. I'm gonna say Sechi's my pick to win the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know who's my pick?
Who's that?
My boy Unhaven.
Yeah.
My boy
SDS
Unhaven. I just think. Okay, so I'm looking at Sechi versus Unhaven on Smash Ranking right now. Sechi got 1 win against him at FD19, which was in the bracket, but already lost earlier in the bracket to him at the same tournament. And then overall is only 1-3 against Unhaven in sets.
Right.
And I feel like, obviously, Sechi is going to be grinding super hard, probably specifically for Falco and Ice Climbers. But I just think that Ross also has, this is Unhaven, also has a really stable mindset. Is you know, one of the less likely player to get shaken up or, you know, put on tilt or anything like that. With Sechi, you know, if he ends up having Modest Major in the bracket, if he ends up winning but it's a really close one, or if he ends up losing, has to crawl through losers. I feel like that's, with him being a slightly younger player as well, I feel like that might have might weigh down on him a bit more, and that might end up affecting his performance by the time he gets to grand finals, if he does do that. Because something I mentioned it briefly, but you know, if you go into losers early-ish, we're talking about potentially playing 10 rounds of best of 5, which is a lot. You know, most of these players are used to playing pools, then you have a break, and then you play bracket, and you get, like, you know, 3 or 4 games, so a couple of best of 3s and then a couple of best of 5s. We're talking about, like, potentially 6 to 10 best of 5 sets here, and I think that Unhaven is like fortitude and, you know, his consistency and his mindset are going to help him stay consistent and stay sharp by the time the grand finals rolls around.
That's a good point.
Have I convinced you?
No.
Fair enough. Well, you know, it is good to always have a bit of disagreement. I do just want to, you know, this is a little tip I stole from Cone, get the viewers interacted, so let us know who you think are going to win the Arcadian in the comments of this video. And then I wanted to say a big thank you to Moby, aka EU Tafo. We're going to make it a thing. Is there anyone you want to give shout outs to? Anything you want to say? You know, people can follow you on Twitter and stuff.
Sure, my Twitter is at Moby_Osman, which is pretty, not a great Twitter to read out, it's pretty hard to spell, but I guess give shout outs to, you know, the Peckham scene, South London. We're trying to grow it up. I know Archimede is potentially looking at using South London as a venue for a larger tournament soon in the near future, I hope. And even though I said on the podcast that he hasn't got a chance, I'm going to be wishing best of luck to El Como, who, you know, he's going to be rubbing his hands for that 23 matchup, so hopefully they meet up in bracket.
Okay, yeah, that's great stuff. Thank you very much for coming on, Moby.
Thanks for having me.
I'll speak to you soon.
Alright, cheers.
What's up, guys, and welcome to the bi-weekly wrap-up with R23. How's it going, Alex?
Pretty good, thanks, Tristan. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well. Had a good Christmas, New Year, all of that, and I'm ready for some exciting 2017, exciting stuff for Melee in the UK.
Me too. Yeah, starting off, the year's pretty packed to begin with, and then, yeah, lots to look forward to as well.
Yeah, definitely. So we're just gonna go over the last few events of last year and have a quick little look forwards towards what's going to be coming up for the Arcadian. So the first thing we got here to chat about is Brighton Stock 4. So this is It is bi-weekly, so it's kind of, a bit of a local, but this time there was a lot of guests, like we had a bunch of Southampton players and a bunch of London players go down for it, so did end up quite interesting. So first place of that, 23. Second place, CPU 1. Third, Johnny K, who is, El Kumo, Lengman, man with many names. Fourth place, myself, X1, and then fifth, Mordo and Sergeant Stoggles. So yeah, this is definitely interesting seeing 23 up there. He's one of the highest seeds for the Arcadian, and he's ended up coming out on top here.
Yeah, but there are definitely a few people at the event who can beat him. Like, I think yourself, obviously.
Yeah.
You didn't get to play him. Johnny Kalashnikov, I know, has a good record versus him.
Yeah.
And he's not so good versus ice climbers, and I think that's like a style thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe matchup inexperience. And obviously, like, Jolteon, the old best fourth in the UK, like, another player that you'd think should be able to beat 23, but again, didn't get to.
A player you would have expected to see, in that list of the top 6 finishers.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
No, he ends up going out 2-1 to Mordo and 2-1 to Sergeant Snuggles in the losers bracket.
Is he playing Marth?
Yeah, he was. So he got double Falco there.
I know he does. He's always like found Falco a bit annoying, I think.
Yeah.
He's not ever been bad at the matchups, because obviously back when he was playing, he had like Def Gazer to play against, and the other UK Falcos, which were like, there's a lot of UK Falcos back then.
Yeah, yeah.
And he still always plays pretty well, so maybe just with his new main, he needs to get good at that matchup.
Yeah, I spoke to him a touch at the tournament, and he said he feels like his master just got such a crazy inconsistency, just a problem with being consistent in general. So that might have been a factor, but getting double upset by the same character on one tournament does make it look like maybe there's a bit of a matchup problem here as well.
Yeah, like you need to fix that gap.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, moving on from that, we got some big results for CPU 1.
Yeah, so he's been okay for a while, but this is the first tournament where I've seen him do good. So he beat yourself, 2-1. You beat Johnny Kalashnikov 3-2 in Peach ITs, but Duke is pretty good at that matchup.
Yeah.
And then he lost 3-0 to 23 in winners finals, but then obviously changed something and adapted, because it was 3-2 in the first round. 23 still won it, but
yeah,
a lot closer the second time around.
Yeah, definitely. The way I feel about CPU1 is he's just, if you kind of sleep on him, then you're going to get messed up, because he will hit his punishes, he will hit his jam. If he's got you and he feels comfortable, he's going to just hit his stuff every single time. And the way that when I lost to him, I definitely dropped the ball, didn't have enough respect for him. Then, try to make the uphill climb, make a comeback, and then suddenly I'm like, hang on, this guy, isn't actually a joke at all. He does need a bit of respect.
Yeah, it's good that UK is getting to that point where there's these players that are sort of the players that would get sort of like second or third or even fourth in a pool at a big Kickstart or a big Smashdown South. Yeah. You still have to take everyone in your pool a bit more seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
The level's a lot higher now.
Yeah, and then the final upset of this tournament was, it was me getting upset again by Johnny Kalashnikov or Lengman.
Yeah.
I got a bit ice climbed, really. Hadn't really warmed up for the character specifically, and then, yeah, he got me,
Yeah.
Not much more to say than that, but when we were seeding Johnny K for the Arcadian, it was a bit like, okay, he hasn't got any amazing wins, but we know he is in the recent few months, but we know he is really good.
He has got wins, so he's got a really good record versus 23, for example.
Yes, yeah.
He's got a good record versus Okamid, I think.
But yeah, him taking a set over me when I'm the ranked player is actually quite a significant win, a recent win at least.
Yeah. Okay. Should we move on to so we had 2 tournaments on the next weekend.
Yeah, the Saturday, Sunday double whammy, and they're in Bristol, Wales, so you kind of get quite a lot of overlap in terms of the players.
So we'll go over 8-bit weekender first, if you want to down the result.
Okay, so this is definitely the kind of the interesting one. First place, Setchi. Second place, Frenzy. So yeah, Setchi taking over Frenzy, that's mad. Third place, Modest Major. Fourth, Matt Smith, and you got Hooray for Jay and Soy in there in the 5th place. So yeah, Setchi and Frenzy, that's crazy. And when you win a tournament over someone, that means you've won 2 sets against them basically. So in the winner's side, Sechi takes it 3-2. Then in first set grands loses 1-3. But then in the second set turns it back around in his favour and wins 3-2 over Frenzy.
Yeah, that's really impressive because Frenzy is normally the sort of player who doesn't drop games to unranked players. He's definitely like very well solidly ranked and doesn't let up against people who are worse than him. He takes everyone seriously. Because like you see the rest of the tournament, he destroyed Modest Major, beats Hylian Reaper, and just nobody else is even on the same level as him that day.
Mm-hmm.
But Sechi coming in as currently an unranked player, but obviously is definitely going to be ranked in the next round. So I feel like it's wrong to keep talking about him as this unranked player because
the rankings haven't caught up yet.
Yeah, the rankings haven't caught up yet. He's beaten Frenzy, he's beaten Belia, he's beaten who else is a good one? Ryan S. He's beaten loads of good players, and I think he'll probably be at around the. Originally, I said he was ranked 15 to 20, but I think he could now maybe be thought of as like 11 to 15 range.
Maybe, yeah.
But
definitely top 20, I think, goes kind of without saying there.
Top 20 without saying, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, then Modest Major sneaking in there, third place, sort of. It's that same situation. He kind of seemed to have a handle on everyone else below him, but just wasn't quite up to up to the par of Sechi and Frenzy there.
No.
Then the following day, the kind of interesting dynamic about this thing was because these tournaments were on the same day and they're in Bristol, Wales. Sechi was actually staying at Frenzy's house.
Alright.
Yeah.
So that's a salty car ride.
Yeah, I hear there was a bit of a salty car ride. But yeah, this on the Sunday then, FD20 in Wales. Frenzy comes in first, second place Sechi, then Libbers coming in third and Icon in fourth.
Yep.
If I whack this one up and let me check the scores. So yeah, all just a bit more in hand for Frenzy, 3-1 in both sets. Winners and grands. He did say, I spoke to him about it, he said he just figured out how to play against Sechi, is what he said.
Sechi has a really unusual style that if you're not willing to play in a specific way against him, you're going to struggle with.
Yes.
His defensive game is very, very strong.
Yeah, he just moves out of shield like it's no problem at all. He's just like he zips out, pull him out.
So before, when I was staying at Jamie's for Infinite, I was just playing very defensive and campy against him, and like you do stuff like you bait out his shield drops and stuff.
Yeah.
And it becomes a lot easier, but obviously stuff like that can be difficult for a lot of like Falco or Fox mains who just are used to being able to go in on Falcon. They're used to being able to attack that character and not let up.
Yeah, and it just doesn't. Sechi will eat you for doing that. Like, when I've got close to losing to Sechi, or like when I've dropped games to him, like that's been the main reason I've had to remind myself, okay, let's not play his game.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a bit of a Sechi Frenzy rivalry going on there. Then following on from that, there was the following weekend we had Infinite in Reading, which you just touched on. I see SDS R23 right there in first place. And then, hang on, is that SDS Unhaven in second place and SDS Modest Major in third place? Ooh, what a nice sweep for the tournament there. Then,
it was a really good event. It was really well run by Jam, who didn't enter the event. I think he just wanted to focus on making everything go perfectly.
Yeah.
I think he honestly could have, because it went, like, him and Stan Sasquatch were running it really, really well. It was a fantastic event.
Respect for him for sitting out of that one, but yeah, maybe next time we'll be able to enter. But you've got to give a shout out to him for making sure the tournament all goes well. Looking through the bracket, RT3 obviously the big name there, the high ranked player against everyone who's in that top 8 is unranked. 3-0s pretty much the whole way through, 2-0s, 3-0s.
So Unhaven I'm really good at the IC's matchup, and he isn't as good at the Sheik matchup sort of thing. I know a lot of, like, there's some weird stuff like you can down throw chain grab Popo as Sheik, which a lot of ICs don't know about. Like, so if they DI in, you grab them just straight up, but if they go away, you boost grab them, and you can just chain grab Popo, and it's ridiculous. And it's just like also little things like that, and he wasn't hitting his wobbles all day. Like, I don't think I got wobbled once, so I might be wrong.
No,
like when you get that as Sheik, it's you get a lot back.
Yeah.
And Modest Major and Winners should have had a game, but he just let me get away with a lot of silly things, I think.
Okay, yeah.
But the Falco Classic.
If we come take a look down at this losers bracket where it gets some of the bit more competitive matches, we see Modest Major Unhaven. That was a 3-1 to Unhaven. So it does feel like, you know, Modest Major is someone who's generally been solid in the Ice Climbers matchup. You know, he has like the general idea of it down, but like it still isn't quite one that I say it excels in. And Unhaven is also just a real killer right now.
Yeah, because Unhaven's got like wins over Defecator and stuff, and the campier style that Modest Major does play doesn't really work against Ice Climbers, I don't think, because they can just get in on you so quickly, and you don't gain a lot from camping them.
Yeah.
As Falco specifically, because you do your damage really slowly with lasers, right? You need to getting in there, killing Nana really, really fast, not playing more defensive. I didn't see the set, so I don't know that's how he played, but knowing that's how Adam does play.
I feel like Modest Major definitely is. He likes to hang out under the platforms, you know, stay grounded, and then make use of like a good, you know, short hop laser game. Whereas I feel like the camping strategy against Ice Climbers isn't quite the same, because they're really capable on the ground. You want to be, in fact, I think more comfortable moving around the top platform, dropping through the top platform, coming down with lasers, coming down to threaten them. And yeah, as you said, full-on camping just isn't quite, the risk reward isn't quite there. You need to try and, you know, still actually find the openings.
Yeah, and there are characters that them taking 20% from lasers, they don't care, because they care about like being split up like more than that, and they want that one big hit on you and you're gone. So moving down through it, then we had Unhaven 3-2 over Ship. That was a really crazy set, because it was Cyber Dittos, which not a lot of people are used to even seeing, let alone good at. We saw some really good stuff from Ship. I think he had a lot of interesting setups, and Unhaven, I think, is a fundamentally better player. But Ship looked like he was, on the day, Ship looked like he was stronger at the matchup, if you get what I mean. Yeah,
there was definitely like a real scary one. And like, given that back at Kickstarter, I can't remember the number, he Unhaven 2-0'd Alpha Dash. That kind of makes this 3-2 really close set between Unhaven and Ship look like a bit, whoa, you know, you think, oh, Unhaven's amazing at the Ice Climbers do it, right? You beat Alpha Dash, but Ship's showing that, you know, it's not all about Unhaven, that he's got something to say for himself as well.
Yeah. He's been getting better for a while, and I know he dropped wobbling for a bit to like try and improve his fundamentals, and like, he started doing it again. And he seems like he's like, after being quite a stagnant player for a while, I think he is on the, like, he's slowly moving up a bit. Like at the tournament, you upset yourself, and he also beat Sylveon 3-2.
He's definitely got something to say. The other results I wanted to touch on was his loss in Winterside, which was Modest Major 3-0. So obviously, you know, Ship, Unhaven, that was a really close set, but if you got to look at Unhaven's 3-1ing Modest Major and Modest Major 3-0's Ship, there's definitely some, you know, variation in their ability based on the matchup that they're playing.
Definitely. So other upsets of this event, we have Modest Major 2 over Sechi.
That was early on, second round.
Really early in winners, so some people had a much tougher losers run. But this is what we're talking about. If you play that defensive style, which Modest Major is known for, against someone like Sechi, he can struggle a bit. I know Falcon is difficult, but when Sechi, only the week before, beat Frenzy, then Modest Major obviously has a good style against what Sechi's trying to pull off.
I honestly, when I have to play against Sechi, I do think, like, let's play like Modest Major, because like, he just, you know, it's so difficult for Falcon to get in past the wall of back air, up tilts and lasers if you've got a nice platform sitting above your head. You know, there's no way he can jump over or approach you from above, so they have to come in through this kind of wall where you've just got moves constantly, or you have the potential to put moves there constantly.
Absolutely.
That kind of wraps it up. It definitely paints an interesting picture for the Arcadian. Obviously, in the previous section, I spoke to Moby about that a lot, but there's been a real dynamic of sort of Unhaven, Modest Major, Sechi. You know, these are, you know, the big kind of names for the Arcadian.
Yeah, it's good to see that they're all going to these events, which were quite spread out. I know Unhaven went to a Midlands event as well, which we couldn't spot the bracket for, where he played versus Hal. And lost to him, but like, it's showing that Unhaven, Sechi, and Modest Major are going to these different events and getting experience before them. And I know Mordo and that have also gone to like the Brighton event. So it's good to see people putting the time in.
100%. The thing I'm really, yeah, we touched on it in the last section, but seeing some of these results from Modest Major, from Unhaven, where he's just 3-0 or 3-1's Modest Major, like it makes it really look like he's gonna be a big gatekeeper at the Arcadian, because some people are just gonna have such trouble beating him.
Yeah.
I think it will definitely see him go quite far.
Yeah, should be a really good event. Do we want to about other events, or are we leaving that to the...
I think there's nothing super upcoming. Okay, yeah, there is something super. There's so yeah, after Best of the Rest, which is 7th of January, there's Event 51. That's more like of a fun, chill event, less super competitive. But then 2 weeks after Best of the Rest, there is Seesaw in Brighton, which is definitely going to be an interesting one. Over Triforce is there, as well as Frenzy, Deathgazer, and the two of us. So obviously Over's looking like the favourite there, but a lot of Falcos, Frenzy, Deathgazer, so definitely looking like it should be a good one. Do check that out.
Yeah, should be a good event. It's got singles and doubles.
Yeah.
64-person cap. The McCluey brothers always run a really solid event whenever we've been there.
Yeah. I'm actually going to be on TOG at that event as well. We've made a deal with them, so I'm going to be, TOing the event as well as them. So, if you've ever been to an SDS event and you think that was legit, then this is going to be just as legit because we're on it.
Yeah, just in a slightly nicer city.
Yeah. Yes, quite true.
It's actually in Brighton, this one, isn't it? Because I know a lot of the other events have been in some of the small towns around there.
Yeah, it's at the University of Brighton. So
brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So really, really easy to get to for a lot of people.
Yeah, London, easy peasy. Southampton, easy peasy. Anywhere in the southeast, really, Kent, any of that, get straight on it.
Yep.
Hope to see you all at the Best of the Rest, and hopefully at Seesaw after that. Thank you very much, Alex.
Thank you. See you around.
Now we're moving on to Smash Goals, where I'll be joined by Raphael23, upcoming Fox player, now ranked 24th on the rankings. Hello, Raphael. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good.
Excellent, excellent. We're going to be talking all about, how you got started in Smash. So that's my first question for you. When did you first start playing Melee competitively?
Competitively, I'm actually not too sure, but according to Ryan S, it was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I just don't remember it.
Okay.
But maybe for maybe a bit longer than that.
Okay, yeah, a reasonable amount of time then. New score-ish. What was it that made you start actually seeing it as a competition, something you wanted to compete in?
So Ryan and JMG, they watched the documentary, that one.
Yeah, yeah.
And they told me to watch it, and they sort of invited me around to play, and so I kind of got started.
Fair enough, fair enough. If those guys kind of brought you into the scene, was there a bit of a rivalry between you and them, or anything like that?
No, I don't really think we have a rivalry.
Okay.
We'll try to get better and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So if we move on to Best of the Rest, which is a tournament coming up that I'm running, you've been given the 3rd highest seed overall. So that's quite high.
Yeah.
Do you have any expectations for where you want to place a personal goal?
Well, it would be nice to be first, but I don't really mind. Top 5 would be nice.
Okay. Is there anyone who you see and you or anyone at the tournament that you're really worried about facing?
So basically any Ice Climbers player, since I'm really bad at that.
Okay.
And I have the Ice Climber bracket.
Do you?
So I have to play shit, and if I win that, I play JMG, then I win that, then I play Unhaven.
Okay.
But then if I lose the ship, I have to play Duke.
Yeah.
And every time I play him, I just lose, so it's not that good.
That sounds like definitely a bit of a tricky one. Have you been, prepping for the Arcadian at all? Practicing specifically for it?
Yeah, I've actually finally got 20XX on my Wii, so I've been practicing some tech Jason and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's mainly Fox and Falco, but not Ice Climbers and stuff.
Okay. You definitely need to go.
Which I probably should do.
Yeah, find your nearest Ice Climbers main.
Who is that? There isn't any.
London. You have to get Duke out of the woodwork and get him to play you.
Okay.
So yeah, Ice Climbers can be a big problem for you. There's also been a lot of Peach and Samus, generally quite a lot of floaties at this tournament. Is any of that giving you worry at all, or do you feel it's pretty fine?
I really like the Peach and Samus matchup, so that's
Okay.
alright. Just mainly ICs.
Mainly just ICs.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. That is definitely interesting to see. You seem to have like quite a laid back attitude towards your placing. You know, I said, where do you want to be? And you're like, yeah, first would be nice, I guess.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to get into your motivations for playing Smash, because like a lot of people, you know, they compete and they're like, oh yeah, I want to be the best in, you know, the UK or in the world. Do you have like, you know, an end game goal for Melee of like where you want to be?
Not really. Just like as long as I'm having fun
Yeah.
and like, yeah. It would be nice to be like pretty high ranked, but it doesn't really matter that much.
I think you're the most laid back person I've ever had on this segment, because it's normally like, oh, I want to be the best in the world, or I want to be this and that. But I have to say, it's pretty impressive that you've managed to get already ranked in the UK after 2 years, and you know,
Thank you.
only, well, you know,
I mean,
you're
I
not
do-
super try hard, if you know what I mean.
I do try to get better, but
Yeah.
the way I do it, I have fun doing it.
Okay.
So like, I'm just grinding out tech skill 24/7 just to win some games. I actually just enjoy it.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, I mean, that was, you know, before I did this interview with you, I was thinking like, I really have no idea what makes 23 tick, and I still don't really know. But I guess it's just a love of Melee, right? Is that what you say?
Yeah, just like doing really cool combos. That's
Fair
pretty
enough.
much it.
Do you feel like you're a bit more of like you would go for something cool rather than like the optimal thing if it came down to it in tournament?
Probably. I don't know.
Okay. No problem. I didn't want to give you the difficult questions. But you know, it is actually cool to see the perspective of someone who has got to this level with the approach of it, just thinking like, I want this to be fun. You know,
Yeah.
I want Melee to be fun primarily, because a lot of new players, if we look at you in contrast to someone like Sechi, obviously, you know, Sechi does enjoy the game, but it's very like kind of like a job, you know, to him. Like, it's like he's studying it. He's like, I do this and then I do this.
Yeah,
It's
you
like very-
analyze. He has
Exactly.
to like try to get better every time, but I don't really mind how fast I progress or not.
Do you feel like the fact that you're not stressing out about how fast you progress helps you in, you know, in staying relaxed in the tournament?
I don't really know. It might be like good sometimes, but sometimes also quite bad.
Okay.
Um,
Could you delve into
Some-
that a bit more? Like, what makes it good? What makes it bad sometimes?
what being like super relaxed.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just kind of I can't really explain it, but it happened to like Kickstart, like the last one.
Mhm.
But I just did really bad. I was just super relaxed, and it just didn't really help. Then like I don't know, it's just hard to explain.
Okay.
Just like mentality stuff.
So it's like sometimes being relaxed takes the pressure off, but
Yeah, and
Sometimes-
sometimes you need the pressure to
make
perform.
you perform. Okay. That's definitely interesting. Do you ever think like in the future you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna take Melee more serious now, or I'm gonna try way harder, or do you feel like you're gonna just ride out this mentality all the way?
I don't know. I might start going to more things out of like my area
Mm.
and see if I can compete more.
Yeah.
So like coming to the Southampton stuff and maybe going to Bristol at some point and see my friends at uni.
Yeah.
I go to a tournament or something.
Yeah, that sounds good. So if you won Best of the Rest and you got 500 quid, are you saying that you'd go to the next tournament and you'd be like, yeah, I don't care how well I do?
Possibly.
Okay. Obviously, you know, that's still a way off. There's a lot of tough opponents in there. You got
Yeah.
Sushi, Unhaven, Modest Major, all of these people. I want to actually just go break down, probably, because those are those are probably the three biggest threats.
Nah.
Nah.
Were you forgetting about Joe?
Joe, JMG. Is he a problem for you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
He's
Big
sick.
one.
Yeah. I've lost him like every time recently.
Oh,
Like
really?
really bad. I can't do it anymore.
Okay.
It's really weird.
Well, so JMG is going to be a problem, and I feel like we spoke about Ice Climber, so Unhaven might be a bit tricky.
Yeah.
But if you did run up into Sechi, obviously we compared your styles a bit earlier. How would you feel facing off against him?
I think I'd enjoy it since I quite like that matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He and Modest Major both have quite defensive styles. Do you feel like that would be something that you have a problem with?
Not really. I don't really mind.
All right.
I play Death Gazer quite a bit, and Ryan S. They sort of have the same sort of
Yeah, that
play
is true.
styles.
Ryan S does. Ryan S is probably the closest Falcon to Sechi, I think.
Yeah.
Because all the others are just kind of a bit whack. You know, like way less precise and calculated. You know, they're all
The
just a
old
bit
school
more.
Falcons.
Yeah, they just
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
That's what That's all they do. Myself included in that.
Yep.
Right. Well, that is good. I mean, normally at the end, I set I try and get someone to say something really confident, like, "Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna win the Arcadian," but I don't think I'm gonna get anything quite like that out of you.
Nah,
So,
I won't say that.
in which case we will wrap up. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to? Do you have Twitter? I don't think you do. Anywhere you want people
Nah.
to follow you or anything like that?
Nah, I don't have anything.
Nah, it's too chilled
really
out.
and
No one
stuff.
you want to shout out, even in name?
Shout outs to Ryan and Joe for being sick.
Fair play.
And Archie.
Yeah, Mordo.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Raf. I'll see you soon.
Yeah. It's been fun.
Peace.